Dear Diary, where do I start? Dear Diary, how long am I supposed to feel this way? No. Dear Diary, life is precious.
Okay, guys, welcome back to Life After You podcast, episode 6, with our special guest today, who goes by the name of Lachae. How are you today?
I'm good.
That's good. So, I see that you are expecting.
Yes.
What do you have?
I do. I'm having another one.
You got any names?
Day. Her name is Day.
Day.
Like just a day.
D-A-Y.
Day.
D-A-Y.
Yes. Day. Just day.
And you already have a son.
Yeah, I have a son.
How old is he?
He's still be 9 in October. So that's crazy as hell still here.
Girl, I think I started over in 2022. My son is 2 now. Never doing it again.
Like my son's so independent.
Yeah.
Right now, but it's like you have to go through all change her life. It's scary. Like it's scary right now. Like, she's my rainbow. Like she's my rainbow baby.
Okay. So how old was it?
It's good. It's scary. It's like it's scary. Having to teach a child how to respond to certain things. Now, like I said, my son getting older. He in school, and you know the school that we grew up in the neighborhood. He go to that school, and with all the schools closing around it, it's like so many kids from different parts of the, that zone, that school, and him being raised a certain way, and then other children, being raised a certain way. It's scary. They teach you like how to respond, what to be, to have integrity, to be a leader, don't follow no one. Like I'm trying to instill so much in him at this young age, and I still gotta let him be. Like
that's how it is with me with my oldest son. I took her. We went to like 2 different schools just because I had most with her, so I could transfer her. But just like I just be looking like, you can't do certain stuff that you see other kids do.
Yeah.
Like, for example, we have kids, around our neighborhood. Some parents let them kind of, okay, you can go 2 blocks up the street. That's not me. That's not fine with me.
No.
Like, you got to stay on the block.
we don't live how we was when we grew up.
It's a
totally
generation.
different. It's
totally different generation.
And like I hate to be so like
strict.
You don't understand later. You don't understand later why we did protect them from certain things. Like we understand their parents now,
right,
as adults, but it's not the same. Like it's not the same. We could walk from neighborhood to neighborhood, and we
feel safe.
Feel
safe. Like,
but it's not like that. It's not like that.
That's exactly how people say. So you can't, baby. You might as well call him. That boy here on the street boy. You might as well call him street boy. Stay right here. You cannot go nowhere. Yes, definitely. I think I don't know. Motherhood has been like a lesson. It's like the whole experience has been a lesson. Because I think there's no rule book on like being a mother or being a good mother. And I think like a lot of people. So let me ask you this: how do you feel about parenting classes?
I feel like it's needed. I feel like in some cases it's needed, like because you'll get to see how a different perspective of another parent, and maybe how they discipline their children, and like how it has worked for them.
Okay.
Versus we going on what we saw going on, like how our parents might deal with us, and then you still have to break those kind of curses because our parents they do everything right. And with us in the process of breaking those curses, just like seeing a different perspective of how another parent may handle, like, okay, maybe I see that's working for her.
Right.
Like, not that it would work for me, but maybe I can try to see if it works for me. It's being pregnant is a lot of those being awful for me right now. Like, time I go to the clinic, like, I want to try this and this birthing class and this parenting class and this parenting course. And I'm like, yeah. Right now, I'm just up for anything. Because I think your first child is the child that
teaches you.
You literally see yourself. You see yourself as a mirror reflection of you. Their dad too. take two, that DNA. But you see yourself and you see like where you wish you would have probably went like a different way.
Yeah.
And with him being 9, like we won't get into too much at that age, but I see where it could, you know, if he not thinking for himself, where it could possibly
put him in the wrong direction.
Right.
And then you also got to think about it. He a boy too.
Yes.
And
that's the scary part.
Yeah.
That's the scary part. Like,
and I think that's why I was so sheltered with my son. I'm like, you know, like, hey.
Well, because it's like, with everything going on, you open up social media, you see these young boys, 12, you know, being the youngest that I saw so far, being murdered and like, man, my son got to be my son. I got a son. I gotta show him, I gotta protect him. And then in a sense, we gotta let them learn. Because I forgot who I was watching one day. And I want to say maybe it was Regina King or Taraji. And they was there. So I was like, Mom, why didn't you let me learn? Like, you taught me what not to do versus what to do if I was in that situation.
Right.
And see, that's where like getting different parenting advice.
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, maybe I'm being too strict on them. You just gotta pray for that protection on your child every day in your house.
I know you thought about it like that.
Yeah.
Like letting him learn for himself.
You let him learn for himself. Because it's like we telling them that the fire is hot, and versus them seeing that the fire is hot.
Right, and touching it. We're just saying like, don't touch the fire. Instead of letting them learn like, if I touch the fire, I'm gonna get burned. Yeah, okay, yeah. I never thought about it. Yeah, my son. I would tell like, don't do this, don't do that.
We put it in, and we Batman in it, like it's kind of like instilling a fear, which they need. Like they need that fear in them. Like my mother told me, this ain't right, but when have we ever listened to?
Right.
We still want to look like my mother told me no about a couple of dudes, and I still wanted to see about
Right.
You know, and it's just like that. So parenting has been scary, and like doing it, not like all the way alone, but like alone in a sense, is definitely like.
Yeah, I hate that. I wouldn't say I was like alone because when I had my first son, my mom and my dad, they helped me. They played a big part.
And I do that. That's a boy system, but it's like their father, like their boys.
Yeah, they do. And I think that's where, as far as like maybe babysitting and watching them, I was good in that aspect. But financially, no, that should be on me. And it just was like, all right, at the end of the day, when they come home or when I'm off, like, because when I was pregnant with my first son, I was working. Was I working 2 jobs? No, I was in college and I was working down at the hospital. And you know, when I was at the hospital, girl, it's never set schedule. Different days I'm coming, Monday I'm coming in at 4 o'clock in the morning. Wednesday I'm coming in at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It was like, then I had to stay, like, get drafted over to work another shift. It was just like crazy. So they would watch him, but then it was like when I would get off, okay, they would leave out and go to work or go outside when they got to do, and I'd be stuck with them. I'm just like, yo, I'm so tired, like I'm tired. But then it was just like, okay, I can't really kind of like, I mean, I guess I could complain, but I just felt like I always wish like, damn, you know, like I wish his father was here kind of like to help out versus it being different with you, like your child father was actually here.
Yeah, he's here, and
so how was that? Like how was the relationship with him?
It's not.
It's a work in progress?
It's a work in progress.
Okay.
I like the way you put that because I was just about to say, no. But it's a work in progress. It's healing. It's a healing process with me trying to just be a better me. Like I can't control him, but I can control me. Because I was crashing out. I was crashing out about that. I was.
We all did.
And see, like, and my son, for the most part, like, he's seen most of the stuff. So that's why I said, like, it's really, really, like, scary, like, trying to get him to, like, unlearn certain behaviors that he may have seen in his former days. He is really big in family, my son. Like, and I'm to the point now where it's like, that's not what it's going to be. Like you won't see mommy and daddy And we've been, you know, in the house together. He got to experience that for the time that it lasted. But like he did, girl, we used to make songs, my family, and everything. Like he was so big in the family, and I felt like, in a sense, that part of parenthood, I let him down. Like so, right now I'm in the process of healing, and I'm grieving that chapter of like giving myself grace with that part of
So how would you and Charles Rock relationship now?
it's rocky. It's rocky. It's rocky. Because
So is it more so like misunderstanding, miscommunication, or is it just that one person just not trying to change?
it's like misunderstanding, miscommunication, like you know, everything you about to just run in, it's over with that. Like the misunderstanding, the miscommunication, the trauma that we may have both given each other, which I feel like he gave me more. But, and it's just it's so much. And I think I'm grieving with that. I'm grieving with expectation of what I thought that it would be.
Right.
I'm grieving with like constantly beating myself up, like
Right, wondering like
what you
something
could have
that-
did different, and it's just so much with that. Like, and now I'm in the process of like letting go, trying to not have so much control over the situation because I've always like, but you.
But how long did it take you to get to this space?
So I started dealing with him when I was 18, going on 19, so fresh out of high school. He's 5 years older than me, so I feel like he experienced a little more than me. I can say that I was probably a little naive then, and I feel 10 years. Well, my 79, so it's you know, almost a decade.
And
On
then
off,
the
and
second child,
girl,
by him as well.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
it's the on and off, and you know, not showing proper stability that a child may need to see. I feel like a child need to see. I didn't see, you know, like my mother and father wasn't together, but I had my father and I had my mother, so the love wasn't, you know, missing. But I would love to have seen that aspect of it, like how
Like
it
a
be
two-parent household
two-parent
together.
household.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I'm letting go of that expectation.
But you know what? Sometimes a two-parent household, I know it's like everybody's goal, but sometimes it's not always like what it's saying.
What is
Because
it?
I grew up in a two-parent household, and still to this day, my mom and my dad are still married. However, that two-parent household, my mom, yeah, they fuss back and forth, so it was like I seen them bickering back and forth. It's just like okay, so just me watching that as a child growing up. I think that kind of got like embedded into me, like okay, well then you know it's okay to talk to people like that. That's not okay.
Right.
But I had to, you know, meet somebody to put in my place, like, who you talk to? You don't talk to me like click up. You know, when you calm down, get some sense, then you call me. Like I had to kind of like go through that experience. I'm just like, oh, damn. Then like even still like with my current, well, you know, my boyfriend now, I be telling him like. You gotta kind of think about it, man. You grew up in two different households, so you know you grew up. You had your mom with you. Your mom, you know, the breadwinner, she worked. Although you still had your father as well, you would go over to your father's house.
Right.
However, you didn't have to grow up in the type of. Even though I still had my mom and my dad, I grew up in kind of like a. Do I want to call it toxic? It was just like a. It could sometimes be like a combative household.
And it was confusing also.
Yeah,
Like, confusing. Because it's like they here, they my parents, they in this one roof, but they don't get along. Like it's confusing. Like if you as children, you pick, be like this normal.
Right, this normal.
Until you went here, you like anytime you it's not that.
And I also think people who don't come from a household like that maybe don't kind of understand it, or maybe you know they don't feel where I'm coming from, because I think some people can just think like, oh. You know, you can change the way you talk, but it's just like, this is how I talk. I talk aggressive, like, so I'm just having a regular conversation, but to you, you making it seem like as if like, oh, yo, like, calm down, and that. It's just like, damn, I'm just telling the story or whatever, but that's just how I grew up, though.
Right.
And then, like, the type of environment I grew up around, like, all guys, like, guys that was into shit, like, and it's just like, they teach you one thing, like, all right, don't let that nigga do this, don't let that nobody treat you like this, blah blah. So like all that stuff is kind of embedded into me, and it's like.
And see, I feel like that's good for a girl in a sense of you being surrounded by those dudes, and they tell you like, don't let it do it. I don't feel like me and my dad had that conversation. And my mom recently apologized to me. Like,
So
we,
good.
I was crying about him doing him, you know, and I was going at, like I told you, I was crashing out. I'm going at the females instead of going at
Him, the
him.
problem,
He,
right?
he owes me, actually, like he owes me that, not them.
Right.
And my mom, I was like, why? Like, why are you know, why so continuously doing this to me?
Right.
And she had apologized. And she sat down on my bed, and she, because I just started opening up to her about the situation. Like I said, sisterly, like my friends knew, like,
Right,
and I'm like,
right.
she too judgmental. Like, she
Right.
already didn't like him, you know. And I'm like, no, she just compares judgment. And that day it was totally different. And so I'm crying and spazzing about him and everything. She came and she got me like, why? You know, why my name for him? I have an issue of trying to get a person to remember what I've done.
Yeah.
And like, that's what I'm also learning to let go. Like, just because you got that kind of heart don't mean everybody got that kind of heart, baby girl. You was raised a certain way, he was raised a certain way. So she was like, I apologize for not, my mother was working, you know, the relationships that she had, only two serious ones I've, you know, seen that I can remember. They wasn't they didn't show the unhealthy sides, like, but they most likely wasn't as healthy as I needed to see.
Right.
So she apologized for the fact that she never had a relationship where we could be like, that's how mom is supposed to be loved, and that's how a man's supposed to treat you. And she apologized to me for that. And I was like, oh my Lord, like, instead of you, I'm so used to you passing judgment.
Right.
And you came in and you apologized because you know that you didn't fail me. No, you didn't fail me.
Right.
You just, what we say, parenthood don't come with a handbook. And you was able to take accountability that I wasn't showing how a girl was supposed to be treated. So when I went into it, 18, 19 years old, I was naive. Like, this
thinking
is
it's okay.
It's okay.
Like, I
Like,
never was shown like
the disrespect. I never seen my mother be hit. I dealt with that. Like, the fighting, the domestic of it all, you know, my way, his way. Because I'm not perfect and I won't, you know, sit here and pretend like I am. So I never seen that, but I never seen something healthy enough that I could imitate from. So
So do you think that makes it like harder in a relationship?
I think it's definitely harder.
Okay.
Like, my dad was a ladies' man, so it would be like, after his one serious relationship for many years, and then him getting married and that not lasting, and then I'm meeting a new girlfriend.
Right.
Come on, daddy. Like, I'm tired of meeting new girlfriends.
Right.
And
So when you met these today, like when you met these new girlfriends, they try to build a relationship with you?
yeah, all the time.
Okay.
All the time.
But then it was like once that relationship was over with your father, it was over with y'all too.
No.
Okay,
No.
they continued it.
They continued.
Okay.
And his wife, which I love her so much, like, she was there through a lot of me and Drew's dad, and my baby father, issues. Like, she was there for us, like, as counsel if we needed it, as just like loving. I told you my mom didn't like him. So the first time, my dad always said, you and your sister act like y'all so scared. We adults at this point to bring, your boyfriends. And so it was a Thanksgiving that we had at my father and his wife's house. And I was like, come over. Like, I want you to meet my father. So that was the initiation of everything, the relationship, the family ship. And then he was like over there all the time, Christmas parties. It was a family dynamic. And I really never seen him have that with his own. So that's what I'm saying, like, us being raised totally different.
Right.
And that's another part, like, things that he may have dealt with, I didn't deal with, so I still have to try to understand that. And we clash because I don't understand that, and I still think that regardless of what you went through in life, you should still have some sort of common decency and respect for people.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that you should just go at life so hard, even if you're raised a certain way. Like my mother, both our parents was ex, and you know my grandfather died of overdose, and she's not like.
But you know what? Some people take. So some people take what they went through. This for me, for example, and I really didn't have like no terrible bad childhood. There may be times that our lights got cut off.
Yeah.
I felt like people just
typical.
we fucking getting that shit hooked up illegally. We like candles on this bitch. We boiling hot water, like washing it. Yeah, it's like. So I took that as like, growing up, I seen it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to make sure my child never has to experience this. So I took that and I turned that shit into like a motivation. And it was like, some people don't do that though. Some people take their circumstances or what they went through and just be like, okay, you know, my mom did it, she got through with it, or like, they think that it's just like, okay.
They be
just to settle it.
Yes. They be so content.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of people always be like, you know, Kiana, you know, I'm so proud of you. You know, you went to school, you know, and I'm like, you're so strong. Like, it just was like I had one conversation with my close friend, and he just was like, man, he was out. And he just told me like his childhood, how he grew up. And it's just like, damn. Like, I get to crying with him.
Yeah,
we in a public restaurant, I'm sitting there crying with him. I'm like, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. He's like, all right, I may thought I had it bad, you never know how bad you had it till you hear somebody else's story. Right. But he was asking me like, you know, like one thing about you, Keon, like you do not play no game, like you know, where you go get what you want. And it just was like, it's because the way I grew up, although I did not grow up how you grew up, that little small things I went through with the lights being off, like boil hot water to wash up, I told myself I'm never going to, allow myself to go do that when I get older. I'm gonna always make sure I'm in put myself in a like, you know, like a position of winning, or a position to be comfortable enough to where though I don't really got worried too much about it. Girl, but yeah, a lot of people don't really take that experience and turn it into motivation.
Yeah, they like thrive in their trauma, and they thrive in their chaos, and they continue it. Like it's a curse, it's a generational curse that follows them. Like, for instance, your father wasn't there, and you ain't gonna be there for your child. Like, right. That's Right. Break it.
But I guess that can kind of be, I wouldn't say understandable, because however, I don't agree with that. It's just like, all right, if you think that your father wasn't here, why would you not want to be there for your child? Right. But some people may feel like, damn, my father was not here. I never really, like, it's just like it wasn't a big deal because he got through, he got through with it growing up while his father wasn't there. So, he feel like, like
she can be strong like my mom.
Like she could,
she can be.
That's exactly, and I feel like, no, but I think a person also has to want to be evolved. They also has to want to change. Right. And I feel like our conversation needs to be had. Like, I just got into this whole like era ways though. I gotta start having conversations with people. And sometimes it's not always easy.
It's not. And
I be like, let me be considerate of people's feelings, but still taking my feelings into consideration as well. But it's not always easy. But conversation, definitely.
And even, like, I'm glad you said that, like, because the conversation between my mother and her father, I'm like, dang, like,
you never knew how much you needed that until it happened. Yeah.
And then I don't feel like personally, like, the conversation gets anywhere with him, though. Like, it's like talking to a brick wall. And that's why I'm learning, like, to kind of, like, let it flow and, like, let it go. Because I can keep on telling you something. You can get annoyed, and I'm like, trying to
nagging. Instead of taking what I'm saying into consideration and motivating yourself, like, all right, well, you know what? She keeps saying it. Let me just go do this.
And I'm so understanding. I feel like I'm so understanding. I feel like I'm very understanding. Well, like anything a person is going to do. And I understand a little too much. Whereas though I'm letting them just slide.
Right. If they start ice skating, they start doing tricks and shit.
And I gotta stop. I gotta put a stop to this. And how can I put a stop to it? let it go, let it flow. Because I had a problem with wanting to control the outcome. Like me telling you something, wanting to keep on telling you this, or telling you, why did this for you, and I'm mad for you, this and that. You know, a person know what you did for them.
Right. So you don't really gotta kind of throw
I don't got
it's just like, oh, fuck
I don't got behind you. They know he know what I've done.
You know what I also feel like too? I learned this growing up. And somebody told me this, so I don't know. I think it was my dad told me this growing up. It was probably like a little bit years, like in my teens, maybe like 19, 18. He told me like, you show people how to treat you. And I think I said this in the last episode, I'm not sure, but you show people how to treat you. Now, he told me that shit ain't taken into effect until years later. Because when my oldest son called, boy, you bitch, I really thought he was the gymnastics, like in the Olymp, like the fucking what is it called? You be the thought this nigga was we
don't get away with so much.
Because
it's love. It's love.
It is, and it just be like when you just be so gone over a person, it's just like nothing nobody can say. I swear to God, this nigga could tell me like the sky is purple.
And I would be like, my nigga said the sky purple is purple.
And it's fucking purple. Even though that bitch is clearly blue. I'm like, y'all don't see, y'all squint your eye, it's fucking purple. Don't tell me it's purple. Like just so green. So weird though is I feel like when I got pregnant and I got older, it was like, alright. It's just like just interactions with like different people. It's like, you know, I show people like even like when somebody meet me, people say like I'm very standoffish. I don't know. What I do is I sit back. If I'm around somebody that I don't know, I'm introduced to somebody I don't know, I sit back and I just kind of like observe. Because I'm like, alright, let me take into account your behavior, your attitude, your body language when you're talking. Like, if somebody say something, you gonna make like a little side face, something like that.
And let me just add this. You just don't go off how a person treats you, how they treat others around you. So you gotta also look at that and say, like, how they treating this person, how they treating that person.
Right.
You know, I mean, you can treat me good as hell. You could be the most, say the most kindest things to me, and then I see you just be nasty as fuck for somebody else. I'm like,
But that's what I'm saying. When that happened, you gotta kind of did that shit. Like people say something to me, like, who don't say don't? You ain't gonna say don't say it to me. Like don't. I'm not saying person. Like I did that shit and put right in there. Now they know like, oh wow, I'm saying that type shit. Alright, she ain't with it. I'm saying so. I feel like you show people how you want to be treated.
yeah.
Or whatever. I'm like really big on that because I think that's like a truthful statement.
It
or whatever.
is. It is.
And I feel like a lot of people don't kind of. I feel like a lot of people don't kind of realize that, or like maybe they just don't know that. Like
I don't think I know
how to show.
I don't think I know.
But that's probably like your first love, though, right? It'd be different when it's like
different.
your first love. Everything it'd be different because although I never dealt with guys, you know, in my teens, younger than my parents. When I got with my first child forward, that was like my first real boyfriend, girl love. Like, I'm talking, y'all, you cannot tell me nothing about this man.
Yeah. And see, I think, girl, I would go up the bed with my mother, my sister. I'm going up the bed. And see, but he didn't. To him, it used to be like, you just let him betray him, this bad person. Like, they are seeing the bad things that you're doing to me. So they all creating their own, you know.
Right.
I'm not telling them like this is what you do. I'm saying you do good things too, but the bad things in there, it
always won't stick.
It always stuck. So he was like, you say that. I'm like, little do you know, me and my mother got the beef about you. Like, I'm going to, but you don't have to see it as long as I'm doing it. Even if it's not in your face, even if it's got behind like mine, or, you know, looking at the world, like she can't stand my beautiful. And she has to fuck and say something. I'm like, don't do that. Like, that's his fault. You know.
Right.
Don't
Still
believe
respect
in it. I try not to do it. Like, I could be mad as hell and I still will say face wound just for my son to be like, my father was this, my father was that. You know, like, he see who his father is now, you know, and the issues his father deal with now. But it's like he's still going.
So did you ever take into consideration maybe like his upbringing?
I did.
And the trauma that he went through?
All the time.
all the time. But then it's like
I'm
I can't always keep doing
men.
that.
I'm so big on like black men, blackness, black family, black everything. I just want to be the most understanding to them. And I'm like, I'm being so understanding to you, and you are crushing me. You are ignoring me. Like I'm really like so broken, and you don't even see the fact that you have caused me. Like
all they know is that when I call you answer, you gonna be there.
And I always am.
And I feel like that be the problem.
The jailhouse, that's 602, I'm putting 0. Like,
that be the problem,
like,
though. We always ready to press 0.
No,
instead of just a red button. Sometimes I gotta be pressed.
And I'm like, man, like, even with dealing with other dudes, I'm like, this nigga got, like, I feel like some things I put up with from my son forward, I'm not putting up with.
Exactly.
Because, like, this is my kid forward.
Right.
And, like, being pregnant again, and it's a girl, like, I needed it so bad. Because it's like, this is, like, going to be the biggest. I should have let this go and let go ahead of it some time ago. Like, the amount of trauma that has been caused and betrayal that has been caused in the hands of him, honestly, I should have let it go years ago. Mm-hmm. Like, working at university, like, I'm going to do so much. Like, they call it the job. And I had a good relationship with, like, the managers and everything. Like, it was so bad, like, losing, you know, moving back home with my mother. Thankful, like, I always had some, you know, somewhere to go. I always had home. I always had a home, you know. The amount of trauma that's been caused, I should have been broke. And I had a friend ask me, like, how you just still...
You should have been broken.
I should have been broken.
But you wasn't. That's very good.
I should have been broken. And I had a friend ask me, like, how you just keep going on? Like, why you so funny? Why you always want to laugh? Why you just this and that? Why you just... No, I can be mean sometimes. I just feel like the anger and grieving. People really feel like I had to fly this fast. Like, and I'm just like not standoffish. I mean, I don't want to deal with nobody. I think people taking it as more, it's like anger more than she really want to do something.
Right.
Like,
not even knowing what's going on in the background.
Like, I'm pregnant. These hormones are going crazy because I feel like I'm doing it over again. Like, I'm alone. I feel like I'm not alone, like, per se. I still have my friends, I still have my mother, I still have my sister. But I feel like he's not there.
Right, the one person that you need who should be there is not there.
I feel like he's not there morally.
And I think that's the worst when you grieve a person that's still physically here versus a person that's already, you know, passed away and gone. It's like, this nigga, I'm going through my grieving process of grieving you. I could be in Northeast Market and I see you now I'm getting angry because now
I want to fight.
Yeah, now I'm going to constantly, I got to worry about me potentially seeing you again.
Right.
Versus you was already like, you know, like you passed away or whatever. Yeah, I think that's worse. Like,
so it's a process. So I started doing Bible study with Jehovah's Witness, right? Not that, yeah. Okay. Listen,
go, I'm sorry.
Because my friend,
I mean Jehovah, I'm sorry.
My homeboy said, if you come knocking on my door, I'm gonna do you like Craig on Friday. And it's really like a spiritual journey. I'm not religious. I'm not like, and when I say that, because my friend is Muslim, she just converted to Muslim. Okay. And I like to hear her talk about, you know, the prophet, you know, that's in the Quran one. And I'm like, and I do study with them and I get to know like the life of Jesus and how he go about it. I'm just trying to be so, what word am I looking for? At peace with things. And I know the only way to really come to a peaceful sense of things is like they're depending on something higher than me. And I love my Bible study. I love just seeing and hearing like the topics, because it goes like this, the topic, and then it's like Bible verses, and then it's experience. Like it'll be like illustrations and things. And when I say they some of the most understanding people, like besides the irritating knock at the door, I mean like she is where I've been doing it with the same person for a year. Um, not pressured to join anything, you know, not pressured to get no money up. Uh, it's just been a real elevating experience for me with that, and I think I need it. I think I really, really need it. I need this, like not needed it. I need it
Right.
because I need to understand, like, what with all this going on. Like I'm pregnant again. I feel alone again, but am I alone? Like, am I alone in the sense of higher? Like, I know that you with me. I know you promise. I know.
Sometimes you just need like a little bit of
A
guidance.
guide.
You be questioning stuff like, what is the purpose? Like, what's the purpose of taking me all through this, or showing me that just to have me back to square one where I was at, or back to a
But it's
sunken
a
place?
lesson. It really is a lesson. Like some people you experience is really a lesson. And I think like he has been like a big lesson for me.
So do you feel like there's no coming back from it? There's no kind of like fixing it?
I'm at the point where I'm in my story, and instead of keep on trying to open and reread a chapter and try to like comprehend it in one way, like my way versus what it's actually saying, I'm in the point in my book, or my story, where it's just like I gotta let it flow.
I was about to say that sometimes you just gotta pick up where it left off at. Okay, well then this happened, so this is what I did to change the circumstances, and you gotta make your own ending to your, you know, to your
I
book.
gotta let it flow, because if I don't, I'll be like constantly reopening those pages, reopening
Or
that
rewrite the
chapter,
same sentence.
and rewriting the same sentence, and redoing the same task that I've been should learn from. You know, like at this point, I have an open book, and I'm still failing the same task.
Right.
And it's like, come on now, like.
Right.
But I feel like he definitely evolved me as a woman. Like I just started dating him so young, and I feel like he definitely evolved me as a woman. Like he has definitely been a lesson and a blessing in the sense of everything. He has told me things that I should not ever accept.
Right.
You know, and that should have been taught at home. Like I said before, like that should have been taught at home. My mother and father should have been teaching me. It's not what you let them tell you, you know. But hey, it was taught. It just wasn't taught the way I wanted it to be.
Right.
I'm letting go the control of me expecting a person, like I said, being like me. She learned me. She know, and I got a good support system. Like despite that, I feel like I'm missing a piece of something that helped me create this DNA born inside of me. I feel like I'm loved in every aspect. Like
I feel like you have to focus on yourself. You have to make sure you and your kids are straight. Like with anything.
right.
Sometimes just dealing with other people, with men, you know, it takes them some time.
Time, girl,
It takes them some time. However, I may not be there when the time run up and you finally got your shit together. I may not be there. I may be somewhere else. I say that to say like, don't block your blessings.
Don't block.
Like before a minute, when my child father died, I started kind of like dating again, maybe like a year and a half afterwards for something serious. Yeah, it was like a year. I was really like into the guy. I was really in tune with him, but I felt like I was still trying to rush the process because I'm like, man, my son better grow and move forward. It wasn't like I was trying to replace him. I was trying to fill that void. And a lot of people, or that person just wasn't on the same time that I was on.
Right.
I'm more like building family, like togetherness and all that. And just like, all right, that person was a good person. He just wasn't on the same time I was on. That's fine though.
Yeah.
Like you don't have the same responsibilities that I have, and that's okay. And I don't feel like you should feel like kind of like trapped because of my responsibilities, or like you don't want to hurt my feelings or whatever. So when I met my boyfriend at the time, it was unexpected. Like it was just like it was on some shit where one of our mutual friends, my close friend, was like, "Come down here. I'm down by XYZ." And it was during COVID. I met him during COVID. It was like down over the east. And I was just like, oh, I don't want to. This is like coming to bed. He like, sis, just come down here, sis, come down here. I'm like, all right, I'm coming down there. I came down there. Mind you, I don't know nobody.
Right.
So if I'm the person, I'm gonna cling to the person that I'm also like, no.
Right.
So me and him was talking, I just was sitting down, and my boyfriend caught my eye. I'm like, damn. Texting my homeboy, I'm like, man, I still remember my boyfriend had on him an orange fucking Adidas shirt or a sweatshirt, something like that. I'm like, who that orange? He like, oh yeah, it's my man. He like, I got you. I'm like, no, he got to sign to me first. I don't need you. Like, we not kids. But I'm like, he got kids? He's like, no. I'm like, what do you do? Like, do you work? He in the streets or what do you do? He like, no, he work, but he can tell you that himself. I'm like, no, nigga, you tell me. You my homeboy. You let me know before I even try to pursue anything. But he was like, no, like that's his story to tell for you. Whole time my boyfriend asked him like, who that? And he goes, my sister. He thought I was his real sister, so he was like, I'm not gonna go at my man's sister. He's like, oh no, like not by blood, like I call my sister real cool. He's like, oh, alright. Say less. Me and him started talking. Like we were just talking about relationships, having conversations and whatever. I'm kinda like filling him out though. I'm like, boy, I like him. We both went out the next day. We didn't go out. So he texted me like later on that day. I'm like, damn, what happened to us going out? He like, well, damn, I just woke up. I had a hangover or something. I'm going like, all right. But I was looking at it like, he ain't said like, what you doing right now? Like, nigga, what you doing right now? Me right now? Come on. Like, I'm ready to be right there in 5 minutes. That's the type of shit I was on. He ain't said it. So I was like, like that. Like, not wasting my time. But, and then we wound up meeting again. We wound up like texting here and there. We wound up actually going out. We else like DC somewhere. We down here like a little brunch. I'm like, all right. I just learned over the years, like, have a conversation. Normally when you go out with somebody, y'all both on your phones and whatever. The conversation be very minimum. So I'm like, no, let me just try to like, pursue the conversation. Maybe talk. I'm like, all right, we got a good conversation. This nigga look good. Like, hold up. After like the first week, I like him. I like him.
And see how that evolved. It was like
it was unexpected because I did not want to go down there
and
to meet my
see stuff like that happen when you're not trying to control things.
Yeah.
It just happens so easy. Like I feel like my whole girl always says, they always say, you always meeting somebody somewhere. You always talking to somebody, random stranger. And one of my friends will say, you won't meet your husband at a Super Bowl kid or something like that. Because you just always like, I don't know if I get approachable. But apparently I do. I feel like it ain't over. I feel like I gotta give myself grace in the sense that you about to have 2 kids, girl. Because I see all these podcasts talking, oh man, it's gonna want you, not how you went. Girl. And all that shit. I don't want to hear that. The person for me is gonna find me.
Right.
And who's to say it's not, that. But it's just not that right now.
I feel like people throw all that negative energy.
Yeah.
Why would you get on there and say like a person not gonna want somebody with a child, blah blah? Because I heard the same thing that made me think like, damn, who the fuck want to deal with me? I got a newborn fucking baby or 1-year-old baby. I'm like the child father is deceased. I'm still like working job to job. I'm still in school, still trying to get my life together. Who gonna wanna like deal with it? Deal with that. Right. Like just that, just knowing I lost my child father, that comes with a lot of emotions, a lot of like triggers, everything. And that's for a while I felt like, all right, you know what? I'm not really gonna look for anything. It is what it is. So then when that situation happened, when I met my current boyfriend, I swear to God, this was like God's plan. Because I met somebody before that.
Right.
The sweetest person. Like, he's such a good person. He just wasn't for me. And that's okay. He taught me a lot though. He taught me how to communicate. At first I was just like, I'm talking about like zap. Who the fuck you? I was just like zap out because I went through that with my first child father.
And that's how you.
And that was acceptable.
Yeah.
Man, we're going back and forth arguing. But again, I grew up in a household where my mother and my father argued. So again, that was just normal to me. He never corrected me, never nothing. It's like, okay, I meet this new person. He like, no. And you go to say, oh wait, communicate that with me. How I'm supposed to know I did something you don't tell me? I don't know if I, you know,
Because
like
you
this.
expect people to have, like,
Right.
common
I
sense.
expect people to just automatically know though. And then it's like, all right, I learned that. You know, like my current relationship, I'm like way more mature, way more involved. But I had to kind of go through shit to get to where I'm at.
Right.
So I am like, I am very proud of myself. I don't like that people put that persona on single
And
mothers.
that's why I say it's so.
Stop putting that
Social
persona
media
on.
has become like a shit show. Every podcast is about that stuff, the 50-50, the this and that. Like, be realistic, be optimistic, you know, and with everything that's on social media, the pessimism, the negativity, you don't need that because words are spells, and you looking at certain stuff and picking up the algorithms of them kind of podcasts and all of that, you put it on yourself. Oh, maybe I should.
Right. And compare the contrast, like, damn.
And that's the biggest killjoy right there, the comparing. Like I told you, I am grieving so bad with not being where I thought I would be. Relationships will set you back.
They will.
They will set you back. And I'm like, social media don't help it.
It don't.
It don't help it.
Cause you're like, saying like, post how we're saying niggas should treat you like that.
Yeah.
My nigga ain't here to me, or maybe I should feel like, yeah, it's kind of like putting you down.
Yeah. And then like, oh, you this, you should have this, and I'm this age with her. And if tell people realize it's your journey, it's your lane, you know, don't cross over nobody else's, because you might crash. It's your lane. This is your journey. Focus on your journey, and you'll get there. It'll happen. Everything will happen when it's time to happen. Just constantly, like, man, if I ain't deal with this, if I could have been let this nigga go, I could have been back in school. I could have been, you know, I'm just constantly in my own league, going at my own self. I'm my biggest critic. So nobody can tell me nothing I ain't already told myself.
Right.
I really am my biggest critic. Like, I look in the mirror, I give myself my information, and then I do my shadow work. What can you fix?
Right.
You are this way. You know you can fix that. You need some help in that area. You need to be more this way in that area. I'm finding out a lot about myself mentally. And it's things that I don't like that I do.
Right.
You know, that I can fix. The people pleasing, the trying to get him to understand. You need to understand this, you need to understand that. I told you I want to control how others look at him. Like, he not this kind of person.
Right.
Mine, he got a sweet side, but she experienced him in the way she experienced him. Right. And her experience was him hurting her child. And I'm her child, so she's not going to get over that.
And I also feel like that's not, even though you do it, that's not your job to do. That's their job to feel like, all right, damn, they seen this one bad side of me. Let me show them this good side of me. Like, let me show them that I'm
and it's like you would do that, and then you would switch up so fast. So I know when I said I never got a chance to, like, live in the ambiance of this nigga acting like you literally giving me a week and then it's something else. And then it's something else. Like, I'm never getting a full, like, you acted totally right. I gotta find out about this. I gotta find out about that. You doing this. You said you was gonna change it. You didn't. And I'm not getting a chance to live in, you know, you being a good dude to me. And you just.
And that's some shit that he gotta work on himself.
And that's why I can't keep on putting that on him. Right. He'll get it eventually.
Right.
And I can't be the one that keep on. Like, I'm not his mother.
Right.
I'm not his mother. Like, we just talking about how we do our sons. I feel like I'm doing that with him. Like, I done it with him. That ain't my responsibility.
And eventually, when he get it, he'll get it. However, it may be too late for you.
Exactly.
You may be already gone.
Right.
But I feel like that's fine though. Maybe you can see like, damn, I really fucked up.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe when he gets to that point, he can come back and apologize to you. Like, I am never apologize. Like, I don't think people know how much a fucking apology means to a person. That shit gotta be sincere.
Yeah.
Like, damn, yo, I'm sorry, Lachae, for the way I treated you. You didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I wasn't. I could have been there more for my kids. I could have did more for my kids.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see it back then, but I see it now. That's a space that he got me.
And that's
willing
his
to get to.
journey. That's his journey. I can't. That's his journey. That's something that he gotta come to grips with. I can't be that one that keep on being down his throat and letting him know, you know, this is what you're doing and this is how it was affecting me. Eventually you'll get what you did was wrong and how it affected me. But I think now it's just to conclude that I'm just letting it go.
And I think just take your time too.
Yeah.
Like, don't be like me, bitch. Don't try to rush it. Like, I do not like being in a, and it's so crazy, I never knew I was in a dark space until years later. If I'm sitting back kind of like analyzing, like looking at myself like, damn. I really like, as I'm talking back like on the podcast, the first episode, I'm saying shit, I looked at it, I'm like, damn, I was really in a fucked up space.
Right.
Like, I was in a fucked up space. I didn't allow myself like grace to go through it. I tried to rush the process, like, and I feel like, girl, I remember one time I DM'd somebody. I DM'd one of my friends' homegirl. She had lost her child father as well. Probably like a couple years before. I asked her like, how long did it take you to start reading? She was like, well, it took me like about like a year or so. But she was like, even still, after we have like little times where
Triggers.
you know, we had triggers. I break down. I'm like, girl, mind you, this is probably like not even a month. No. This probably was a month. When my child father is, I'm like, damn, I ain't trying to be going through all this. Like, I ain't trying to feel like this, like, I'm not trying to feel this way for no years.
Right.
Whole time. This is year 7. Like, mine through his death date was July 5th. Like, 2 people had texted me and was like, you know, hey, how you feeling? And one of my friends had a, it was her bridal shower, her reception, I mean. And I had went, and I had a good time. I was enjoying myself or whatever. However, it's certain triggers. I get in the car, I'm on my way home. Girl, I had my music on shuffle. Dej Loaf, Self Soul album came on. Baby, when I tell you, me and him wore that fucking album in the whole. So it triggered me. I was just like, damn. So I thought, like, turn the music up. I'm singing it, whatever. It was like, I cannot explain it. It was like a feeling that came over me.
Because it was certain things like that, when things are reminding us of them, especially people that pass on, I think that's them. Just reminding us they still here.
Yes.
They see you.
Yes.
Everything's fine.
Yes.
Because I get a lot of that now with my grandparents, like my great grandmother, who I was very, very like run to. I get a lot of her sense, her smell, like how she would smell. That is really like, but you know what? When you healing and when you evolving, they come, like the people that has passed on, they come and remind us like they there, they on that other side, and they looking out for us. They looking out for, that was a comfort though. The fact that they came on, that wasn't just like no.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, and I was a little like, I'm seeing and I cannot explain the feeling that came over me. But I get in the house, when I get in the house, my mood will make me change. Mind you, it's like 10 o'clock at night. My mood kind of changed or whatever. I'm like, damn, I realized like, damn, the day makes 7 years. 7 years, he ain't been here. I'm just like, yo, I be having moments where I didn't realize it, then I realize it now. Every year on his death date, it's like this feeling I get where though like the anger come back, the depression come back.
Yeah.
So I remember earlier that day before I went to my friend's reception, I was irritable. Like, I'm getting smart with my boyfriend, my kids kind of like getting on my nerves, I'm yelling at them. It's just like, yo, and I'm just like, why the fuck? My boyfriend like, did I do something to you? I'm like, what? You like, did I do something to you? Like, you talking to me as if like I'm getting on your nerves, like I did something to you. So I had to go into the bathroom, girl. I went into the bathroom. I turned the sink on, so the water came on. I just started busting out crying. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And I just realized, like, yo, today is the 7 years. Like, that shit is gonna always be with me, always.
It is.
So I kind of had to, like, I cried for like 5 minutes. I wiped my face, put some water in my face, wipe my face, turn the water off. I'm like, I just had to, like, get it out. Like, I had to get it out. It's like I had to. And then I went back, I went on about my day, I went to my coworker little thing, and then it was like, all right, after that, I came home, I had something on Instagram. Like, you know, it's been like 7 years. I'm like, you know, I had to like self-reflect. I'm like,
You still like, but you could broke down. You could have been done.
yeah,
And
I
you still
feel like
here.
I self-reflect.
And he's still, regardless, whatever you in life, he's still there. He's still there.
I be feeling that sometimes too. So I felt like on his death date, like the feeling that I cannot explain, I just felt like all right, that song came on, he knew like we played that song before. That was him just saying like, yo, I'm still here, I'm still with you. Like even still got my son to ask about me randomly. I don't like, now my son know his father died.
Right.
My son know his father passed away. Like I have a picture with my son that I took when I graduated college, and it was me, my son, and the tombstone. No, the tombstone. It was a great time.
Yeah.
Girl. So my son looked at it in his phone. He like, Mommy, it's my daddy. He like, my son is so fucking smart. Like my daddy tombstone. Like yeah, he like he died. I'm like yeah, he died. My son like I asked about his father. Like, I mean his father like, my daddy passed away. I'm like yeah. You see the tombstone. So my boyfriend was telling me like, which is saying like, do you think it's a good idea to tell him that while he's so young? He just was saying like whenever like for example his father was locked up. He like growing up my father was locked up. My mother told me like, you know your father was away at work. I never like she never kind of like introduced me to that type of lifestyle or situation. But I just was like it's different though. I'm not really lying to my son that his father is going away at work. Right? He's going to expect him to come back, expect him to talk to him. I'm just like no, my son is very, very smart. Yeah. He's old enough to know, like, he's 6. He can know, like, sense shit. I'm like, I'd rather just tell him the truth instead of lying. And then when it comes out, he's like, oh, my phone was at work. Can you call me? What the fuck are you saying? I can't call him. Yeah. So I'd rather just tell him, like, oh, yeah, he did. He passed away. He clearly see that's his damn tombstone with his picture in. Yeah,
you gotta be honest with your children. Yeah. You gotta, I think, hiding certain things from them for too long, it causes them to have a lot of questioning
and anger towards you.
Because you're not being honest, and you let them down in a sense.
Right.
Tell him he's old enough. You know, he always with you though.
Right.
And if he don't die, it don't die. Like I feel more what becoming a little more spiritual and just trying to understand things. I'm understanding that they always there, like regardless. It had to be something plus the higher power would get me through what the hell I was going through. Like, Grandma, I know that shit. Like,
right.
Like, but yeah, I feel like when you stop and you surrender and you let it go, things will just happen without, everything don't need your touch.
Right.
Sometimes you need that little sprinkle from above that you can't put on it. They don't need your touch because we're altering, we're fucking up.
Yeah.
Because we overanalyzing things too much.
Right.
But God knows. Whether you call him God, whether you call him higher power, whether you call him, whatever you call him, he know. And I feel like he getting me through it. He has getting me through it. And I pray for him. I pray for him because it's so much against them. And what I mean by them is black men.
Right.
They don't take their mental health serious.
They don't.
They don't. And
I thought they put this persona, they gotta be so strong.
They got strong because they
and that sticky prideful.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And like everybody needs help. Everybody needs guidance in some type of form. It's like don't be scared to ask or like speak up about it.
Yeah. And I think another thing for so long I just live with the potential and go all that, the potential, the painting over red flag, trying to hold on to good and like letting it overweigh the big, I think. I'm doing some Tyler Perry shit too though.
Hey, yeah.
Writing the list. I remember the list. I didn't watch that movie, Divorce in the Black. Well, before Divorce in the Black, it was Why Did I Get Married? And then Why Did I Get Married? It was a list. You make the good, the bad, the good outweigh the bad, and all that shit. But that's kind of been like my way of getting through this. And it's like knowing that it was some good, but it was a whole lot of bad. And I can't keep overpainting this bed. I can't keep overpainting it. I can't keep looking over.
And the bad be out here. It just be like, alright, yeah.
The balance is not there.
Yeah, the balance is not balancing. It's not letting out.
I'm glad I'm right. I was crying when I see that pregnancy test, stay positive. And I'm like, God, I'm not doing it alone, my God.
So, how was he when you found out that you was pregnant?
He was
Good response.
perfect. Like, everything was, I'm trying to be better. Things that I heard before, though.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, if he didn't want it, I would have been deuces. But, you know, he always said that I want to give him a daughter. And I used to be like, and I told him, like, I served my purpose in your life. I gave you your son, and I gave you your son on your birthday, as a birthday gift. And I'm giving you your daughter. And my purpose is served, you know.
Well, hopefully when his daughter comes, you know, they say like, yeah, they say them girls.
My best friend just told me how his daughter softened him up.
So hopefully when his daughter comes, we can like change the whole lead.
Yeah.
Like, damn, I can't keep doing this. Like, I don't want my daughter to see like that's acceptable how a man should treat her. Yeah. So hopefully, you know, that was something.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I didn't care what it was. I really didn't. I just wanted to help you. But the fact is, the girl was doing something to me, girl. I was like, oh my goodness.
You know what? God don't put nothing in your life that you don't need.
Right.
So maybe this is what you needed, because you need to be like, all right, look, you gotta be like, look, I'm about to have a daughter. I can't let my daughter see like, all right, this is acceptable. This will maybe going through this toxicity of relationship, and then on his end, he could be like, all right, dang, I can't let my daughter as well see the same, like, this is not how a woman's supposed to be treated. I want my daughter to see like, all right, this is how you're supposed to be treated when you get to that age when you meet someone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it's definitely a blessing.
Yeah.
Definitely a blessing.
Yeah.
So I know you have your podcast that you do.
Yeah,
Let's talk about that.
I can turn it into like a little inspirational page or whatever might be on my mind. That day I'll post it, I'll quote it, you know. It didn't, like I was telling you earlier, like it didn't start off that way.
Right.
But I think like sometimes people we just need to hear like that little inspiration for that day.
So the goal is to like give people hope.
Yeah.
Like or some type of motivation.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
The goal was to educate because I'm so big on like this African American express
it's
that we live in.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
like what we should know, governmental, environmental. Because I'm so big on that. Like I've always been big on that since my senior year in high school. I took a class called African American Studies, so I've been always big on like the dynamic of black people. So it started off with that. It started off with that. And then it just became motivational because like we need to hear motivation. We are a large group of people for the most part. And we need that little push or whatever. So whatever might come to my mind or whatever I think, I will post it. Most of the posts come after a situation. Some come after Bible study. Some come after me listening to certain podcasts and what I might got out of it. I might just throw a little quote out there.
Right.
But yeah,
And what's the name of it?
M Talks.
M Talks.
Yeah, more shit
And
talk.
we're going to have that link below.
Yeah.
M Talks. So I want you guys to go in there and check it out.
Yeah.
And it's very helpful, very inspirational. You never know what you can relate to.
Yeah.
It's always good to share your opinions.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't. You wanna know what's so crazy? I don't feel like there's enough support
And with each other.
with each other.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like one thing people will go do, people will go support somebody they don't even fucking know.
No, right. Moving forward with everything, I just feel so hopeful and what all these lessons learned. Just know how to move now. Like I know how to take my next step and everything. And
So now I just feel like you in the era of putting yourself first.
putting myself first.
You and your kids, like
Yeah.
you gotta put their happiness and your happiness first
Yeah.
before you can make somebody else happy.
Yeah. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, letting it go, letting it flow.
Yeah, let go and let go.
Yes.
I think a lot of people do that. Let go and let go. So,
Surrender. Let go of control of everything. You just watch everything from you.
and also I want people to know like it's no time limit towards grief, or like just getting over a person or a process. There's no time limit. It can take 2 months, 3 months, 5 years, 6 years. You know, it just depends. I feel like people should just like go through it with grace instead of just rushing things. And, you know, yeah, I feel like it'll get, you know, no matter how long it take, it'll get better. But just like now, you realize like your self worth. Like, look, I just realized like I can't keep going with the same cycle. I can't keep doing this. You know, it took time for you to get to this point. And then you at this point, it's just like, all right, I'm in like this whole, you know, spiritual journey within myself. Just working on myself, just working on being a better mother, a better parent, that I can't allow myself to go back down that path.
Yeah.
So I do feel like that's like people need to take that into consideration. Like stop trying to rush the process. You know, like you get there when you get there.
Right. Yeah, this your journey. Your lane. Stay in it. Keep going. Stay focused. God, whatever you call him, Allah, God, the higher power, he'll get you there for sure. No.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on. I
So
love the conversation with you. Like we dived into like a lot of things. And guys, make sure y'all check out her podcast. It's called M Talks, right?
Reminding your mind to make it make sense.
And period.
Yeah.
Period. So make sure you guys check that out. And yes, we'll be back with another episode. But thank you guys for tuning in. Please leave any comments, questions that you'd like for us to address on this podcast, and we'll just go over everything. You know, like when the next guest comes, you know, I can probably ask them a question, anything like that. But always like and subscribe and tune in for episode 7.
You can subscribe to my mommy podcast.